Just like the UPS man delivers, Hunter Brown delivered once again, and Cesar Salazar, the unexpected hero in tonight's victory against the Chicago White Sox. Let's go.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talks Astros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by is Tax Network USA. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and today's episode. Sorry.
Okay, today's episode brought to you by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon.
All right, guys. Sorry, guys. Thank you for making us your first listen. All I can hear is my son screaming in the background. I know y'all can't hear it, but it's very distracting. So go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and go and make us your first listen on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go and hit that little red button down there and go and become an everydayer. So the Astros win. I know we expected this yesterday, but it didn't quite happen yesterday, but today. And I think Brett, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I predicted this. I'm like, well, the Astros are not going to, maybe against a pitcher that's a little bit more well-known, they're going to do a little bit better, but you never know. But Brett, before we get too deep in this discussion, where can they find you on X?
They can find me on they can find me at h Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Facebook and on X, and they can find me at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram and on X. You know, look, I'm always positive, always Stros, guys, and I'm positive that this is the kind of game that the Astros seem to show up for. It's against Crochet, who has been dealing this year. He's one of the better pitchers in the American League. And I was like, you know what, if they're gonna crap the bed in the first game against a pitcher that really is unknown, that you don't have much film on, like we talked about, they were gonna go out against Crochet and totally dominate. And I talked about this after our show last night with Mike on Back to the Bullpen, and I asked him, he is a 19-year pitcher. I was like, how is that? He said, there is a lot to be said when you don't know a guy, when you're not familiar with a guy, and when he's able to find a way to keep you off balance, just away. And he goes, they just showed you don't need a ton of hits to win a game. They won 2-0 tonight. This game had some unexpected heroes, but Eric, Hunter Brown continues to dominate on the mound. He is just pitching some superb baseball. And it's funny, I don't hear all the hate and all the fodder about, Hunter Brown's he's no Justin Verlander. I'm not saying he's Justin Verlander, but man, he was getting a lot of hate at the beginning of the year. So it's good to see him turning it around a lot lately and consistently.
Well, I think the biggest story of the game is the fact that he allowed 7 hits and only 1 earned run. He had 6 strikeouts, allowing that 1 home run. His ERA is down to 4.72. I know that beginning season it was around 7 or 8. Don't quote me on that, but it was pretty much up there. And a lot of people were willing to write him off. And I'm probably one of those people that would say, oh, yeah, he needs to go down AAA. He needs to work on some stuff and figure it out, because we know that he has the stuff. It's not about that. It's the fact that he's not able to put it together this year. There's something about this year, but something happened and he's able to put it together, and now we're seeing it. And it doesn't matter what he gave us a home run. Okay. But the Astros pitching staff in this game, you have Abreu, you had Presley, you had Hader, they all came in and pitched 3 shutout innings, and then you had the 1-run in the 6 innings from Hunter Brown. It's just, why can't we get this every game, Brett? I mean,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't want to
from
be selfish, but yeah.
well, no. I mean, from Hunter Brown, the last 5 games. I mean, you have let's look at it right here. His last 5 games, he's 3-0 with a 1.45 ERA, 38 strikeouts, 31 innings pitched, 23 hits, only 5 earned run, and a WHIP of .90. Now, you say that he has turned it around. Well, I can tell you why he's turned it around. It's that sinker, and he threw it 20 times tonight. And he got 3 whiffs on that. He got 11 whiffs total. He got 5 whiffs on his 4-seam. Dude, his 4-seam was cooking through the strike zone. He was hitting top of the zone. He was dotting up the outside corner on right-handed hitters. And tonight was the first time the Houston Astros have put together a lineup with nothing but right-handed hitters in like 9 seasons. Or, I mean, it's been a long time. The last time that happened, George Springer, Jose Altuve, I forget the other players that were on this team when it was an all right-handed lineup. And so that was something you haven't seen. And those missing left-handers are a big part of the dip in this offense. And not just the dip, but this offense has been so inconsistent through the season. We know what they're capable of. I talked about today my reaction to Dana Brown in his interview with Sean and Brian, and they've got it. And Hunter Brown is going to be a key to this. If they're going to turn it around, you got to have him do that, but you also got to have other people step up too, as they did tonight.
Well, that's the problem, is the fact that you have Ronel Blanco, you have Hunter Brown, you have Spencer Getty, obviously, that are going to be approaching their innings limit that they've ever pitched in a season. And you're going to have to make a decision at some point. Like,
Right.
you're going to have to bring in somebody else. Hopefully, it's Luis Garcia. Hopefully, it's Lance McCullers. There's the pitchers that are out. Hopefully that Justin Verlander isn't out for that long. But the Astros, they won today. Now they gain again on the Mariners because the Mariners lost today. Unfortunately, the Rangers won today, and so now they are,
So they just kept pace with the Rangers. I mean, yeah. And so you didn't
literally 34 and 40. They're both teams are 34 and 40.
Ooh,
yeah,
I know the Rangers, but it shows us in first place. I think it's because we own the season series, or maybe because I have a star by my Houston Astros. But in the third segment, I don't want to spoil it now, but in the third segment, we'll give you an update on Justin Verlander and what he said. But Eric, I want to talk about this unsuspected hero real quick, get into it, because Caratini was in the game. Caratini was starting, and then you had some kerfuffle on the bases. We had some guys. Yes, go look it up. Kerfuffle. These guys sometimes they just don't run bases as well, and it wasn't Jose Altuve this time. But Caratini, you typically don't go on contact when a ball's going straight to the infield, but he did. And sliding into home, Corey Lee was there, caught the ball. He wasn't blocking the plate because he had the ball, and I believe it was his left leg or left knee went right into the equipment, the shin guard of Corey Lee. So what do you know? He pulled him out. Well, who did they have up? Remember how we were like, why are they bringing up Cesar Salazar? Why don't they bring up Joey Loperfido? Well, if they didn't have Cesar Salazar, then we wouldn't have had him to put in the game. And he comes in, he makes an immediate impact, gets an RBI single. He actually got 2 RBI singles, and they won 4-1. So he was half of their offense tonight, and he didn't have to hit a home run. He didn't have to bang the ball out of the park. He just went up there and he did his job. And on our chart, we have he was number 2, but I actually voted for him for my player of the game. So Hunter Brown is your win probability added leader with 27.8, Cesar Salazar 22.2, and Brian Abreu with only 1 inning, but with 7.9. And so you absolutely love to see that. You love to see the guy coming in who really, look, Cesar Salazar, everything we've heard from the players, They love him in the minor leagues. It's great that he's here contributing.
Right. And so in a second, we'll go and talk about what both Hunter Brown and Cesar Salazar were wearing after the game. Is this a new celebration the Astros are doing? And we're going to continue this conversation about Victor Caratini, what's going on with him, what did Joe Espada have to say after the game. But we'll continue this next.
This episode is brought to you by PolicyGenius.com. Get peace of mind by finding the right life insurance. A lot of life is unpredictable, and it is good to have a life insurance plan that gives your family the financial safety net to make sure that you're protected against the unknowns. Policy Genius is the country's leading life insurance marketplace. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options are 100% online and let you avoid unnecessary medical exams. Now, Policy Genius helps you easily compare your options from America's top insurers in just a few clicks. They don't care which company you go with. They want you to get the one that's best for you and your family. So get peace of mind by finding the right life insurance policy with Policy Genius. Head to PolicyGenius.com or click the link below in the description and get your free life insurance quote and see how much you can save at PolicyGenius.com. Here at Locked On Astros, we pride ourselves in getting you the latest news on your team all season long, off-season draft, playoffs, so much more, anything in between. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. That's right. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. Look, I know with all my situations, whether it's my self-employed status, whether it's filing deductions, or just my regular job, I would like someone with over 14 years experience and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau like Tax Network USA, who has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt to help me. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season, and you need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked-on. See the link in the episode description below.
Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. There's a little red button down there. Just go ahead and do us a favor and hit that little red button and go and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go ahead and check us out and become an everydayer. Somebody that listens to our podcast, well, every day. So, Brett, before the break, I did mention that Hunter Brown was wearing something and Cesar Salazar was wearing something after the game. Apparently, I don't know if this is something new or something that they've been doing, but Hunter Brown was wearing a wrestling style picture of the game belt after the game in his locker. And also Cesar Salazar was wearing a player of the game belt. So I don't know if this is something the Astros have started, be like, hey, we need to get our blah, 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 blah in gear and go ahead and start winning.
Our ASSs, why would you just they need to get their butts in gear? No, look, man, I like it. I mean, you hit a good point here. I mean, when I see pictures of Carlos Correa dressed up like Prince because Prince is from Minnesota after he hits a home run, and then when I see I hate the Trident in Seattle, and you had whenever Shohei was in Anaheim, they had the samurai helmet. You have all these different celebrations. You had the home run chain in San Diego. This team's never really had anything like that. And I think it's time that maybe someone steps up and does that. Apparently they did. I love that picture of the game belt. I love that player of the game. I love that because that means these players are playing loose. And one of the points that Dana Brown talked about, and it was kind of confusing, Eric, was he said this, and I'd encourage you, if you haven't heard the interview, don't just listen to what I reacted to, but go listen to the whole interview for context. Dana Brown said, well, they need that urgency. They don't understand that they need that urgency. And then he goes, well, the fact that they know there's an urgency is why they're pressing. And I'm like, well, do they not know they need it, or they know they have it and they don't use it? What? So I think Dana Brown, what I got from that is he's just as confused as to why this team's not performing as anybody else is. To be this bad, to give that timeline, he said late July. If we don't cut it in half by late July, here is the actual quote. Ultimately, we need to cut this lead in half by the end of July. Then I can see this club getting on a roll.
He said the All-Star break. What the heck?
No,
you can't keep on pushing it back, dude.
He's moving the goalpost. Well, Eric, when you get beat 2-0 by the White Sox in the first game, you're gonna have to move the goalpost slightly. And he literally also said, one of the things he said was he is counting on McCullers and Garcia to be the guys that contribute to help them get into the postseason. That he expects, he goes, if you get Garcia back as a starter, it's basically like making a trade. And Sean goes, wait, so you're going to count on two guys that haven't actually performed in 2024? Now we know their history, but there's no way you're counting on these guys that have not pitched. So it was a good conversation. I mean, bottom line, let's be real, people. What do you expect the GM to say? Is he going to sit there and throw his team under the bus? Absolutely not. There's going to be hope upon hope until they're mathematically eliminated. Even if they got to go 20-0 in their last 20 games, I mean, he's going to go, there's still a chance. So,
well, theoretically, the GM is supposed to be like the mom. Yeah, you're very pretty. Yeah, you're handsome. All the girls are going to be throwing themselves at you.
Oh,
yeah, you can go and get supermodel. Yeah, you got it, dude.
okay. Are you talking about you talking about the ugly kid?
Well, yeah, that's what GMs are supposed to do. They're supposed to motivate their kids. They're supposed to put
lipstick on a pig. I mean, basically that's what look, I get it. But to Dana Brown's credit, his draft picks are working. This team just hasn't been good, Eric. But look, tonight they attacked early, and that was the key. That was the key to the win tonight. They attacked the pitches early, because what's funny about that is Dana Brown said they need to be more patient at the plate. But tonight they were the opposite of patient, and it was a formula of success versus Crochet.
Yeah, and against a pitcher like Crochet, you've got to do something. Like, he's a known quantity at this point. Like, the league knows him, and so against Cannon, he's only made 5 starts previous to the one against the Astros. And the Astros, this is not just something recent. This is something that the Astros have struggled historically against. Like, if you're a kind of a recent pitcher, like a new pitcher, you're going to do well against the Astros. Just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the analytics or they don't have enough data or whatever it is. But the Astros did what I thought, you and I both thought they would. They hit better against Crochet. And does that mean he's a terrible pitcher? No, he had 8 strikeouts in this game. He went toe-to-toe versus Hunter Brown. But when it came to the what mattered, Hunter Brown outpitched Crochet. So I think at that point, I think the Astros had the upper hand here. And I think that I think you've got to look at this as a win. And I know that
Look at it.
It's a White Sox. Shut up. No. You know what I mean? But it's a White Sox, and it's like, it's a win, but you know what I mean? No. But it's
you said, hold on, Eric, when the Astros won 4-1, you've got to look at this as a win. Who wasn't looking at that as a win?
It's at the White Sox.
See, Eric, that's
the White Sox suck.
That's why I put this comment. I think this comment's for you. It says, "You are adorable" from Butterfly. I don't know who that is, but it's definitely, I don't know anybody named Butterfly. Maybe it's a long lost love or something, but there you go. You are adorable. That's great, Eric. It's oh, you know what? Butterfly. That's interesting. I don't know if you saw this.
A monarch.
There was a monarch butterfly that landed on the hat of the umpire and then landed on the helmet of one of the players. And I was going to title the show Butterfly Effect, but it didn't really come into play. But you know,
Okay, thank the baseball gods for that.
for real, that's right, the butterfly effect. Hey, you know what? In our last segment, I want to update everybody on Justin Verlander, his communication with Joe Espada, and talk about some other things regarding Yordan Alvarez as well.
And I do want to go and mention Caratini, what Joe Espada had to say about him after the game.
This episode is brought to you by Stitch Fix. Style so good you can feel it. That's right. You know, that instant confident boost you get when you put that outfit on that makes you look really good. Well, with Stitch Fix, you get a stylist who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they're shopping for you. It's almost like they have style ESP. I know that when I go to Stitch Fix, my stylist sends me everything I want. Now, if I try it on and I decide I don't want it, there's no problem. Why? Because shipping and returns are free and you don't pay for it. So you don't pay for something that you don't keep. You send it back. They go, okay, let's work it. Let's rework this next time. So they get you the best outfit. You have the greatest confidence. They have all kinds of styles, casual, formal, for meetings, things like that. So now is the best time to get started with stitchfix.com/MLB and get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time only. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $100 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. This does not include children's clothes, but go to stitchfix.com today.
Hey, you. Yeah, you need to subscribe to us. Why have you not subscribed to us? We are your daily Locked On Astros podcast. We are the only ones out there going out there after all the Astros losses and everything, and go ahead and talking about this Astros team. And go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Go and make us your first listen, Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. Go and check out Michael Connor. He is the ultimate gamer. He has to go after every game, win or loss, weekend, everything. Go and check out Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros postcast as well. And so if you can't get enough Astros talk with us, go and check out Michael Connor as well. So Brett, I know that we all have issues. We all have health issues and everything. And I know I have some issues where I have to get a little injection in my neck next week to deal with some neck discomfort. But Joe Espada said after the game that Victor Caratini had a little leg discomfort, and the Astros are going to give him 24 hours and check him out tomorrow. But Caratini was walking around the clubhouse after the game.
Yeah.
It was slowly, but he was walking around the game.
It definitely wasn't as bad as Kyle Tucker's. Then also Justin Verlander texted Joe Espada today, noting that his neck was feeling better, but the recovery time is still to be determined. Espada noted also that Yordan might be back with the team late Wednesday night. If you're listening on Thursday, that was the night before. So I'm predicting that you're going to have Cesar Salazar in this lineup, probably catching. You'll probably have Diaz either as DH or on the bench to come off the bench if they want to replace Salazar late in the game. Also, we have some other updates. Luis Garcia threw a live bullpen session on Sunday, 25 to 30 pitches. That's promising. Lance McCullers Jr. has been riddling his Instagram with throwing in the low 90s in the bullpens at Minute Maid Park. So they are both progressing. So things are getting better. And someone actually did mention, and I think this is a good point, someone said Dana Brown's not worried because Dana Brown's been through this before. Remember when the Braves made it to the World Series with the Astros? Not a single person in the sports world predicted the Astros to lose that World Series, but the Astros were dealing with losing Lance McCullers at the time. We had lost Jake Myers, who was hot at the time. And so the Braves, what do? They made a few just nominal trades. Soler, Peterson, a couple other guys. And what do? Those 4 guys helped them win the World Series. Now, I'm not saying that the Astros are going to automatically win the World Series because it's the same exact formula, but you're never out until you're out. You're never done until you're mathematically eliminated. It is grim. It does look brutal, and you are losing games that you should absolutely win. But I think at the end of the day, Eric, it's a good thing that our players are getting healthy and they're doing things in the clubhouse to have fun. They need to play loose because guess what? When we come back, a day game on Thursday, we come back and we face the Orioles. But the Orioles got some bad news because Kyle Bradish just had Tommy John. Kyle Bradish was pitching well. He was one of the pitchers that the Astros would have faced had the rotation stayed intact. So that's one less guy that the Astros have to face. But this Orioles team coming into Houston this week, oh my gosh, they have got some young superstars, some up and coming, bona fide, just generational type talent. And so, hey, have fun, guys. Break out the belts, pitcher of the game. Let's do it. I want to see some dugout paraphernalia. I want to see something pop up in the dugout after home runs. I need a legit home run celebration, not just looking into the camera. That's kind of worn itself out. Get something, I mean, a wig. I mean, do something like a Hulk Hogan wig or Randy Macho Man Savage or something. I don't know. Let's just get this thing going. Let's get it pumped up, man.
All right, yeah, y'all got to check out Julia Morales. She put out a good picture of Hunter Brown's belt. I think this must be something new. I think the Astros just trying something new. It does say pitcher of the game at the top, but at the bottom it says pitcher del partido. I believe that's what it says. But
Yes.
It's just awesome to see that the Astros are trying to do something different. Like what they've been doing is it's not working. And so they're just trying to do something a little bit different. And so Hunter Brown, I know we've already kind of addressed Hunter Brown, but I want to kind of cycle back to him.
Okay.
He has in June, he has a 1.44 ERA. And since May, he has a sub 300 ERA. So he is, or 3.00. He is, like you mentioned it, you hit on it exactly earlier. Since he added the sinker or refined the sinker, he's been a whole different pitcher. So
no, he completely added it. He had completely abandoned it, Eric. It wasn't even in his arsenal. So yeah. So hey, real quick before you continue, here's the picture. Right there, pitcher of the game, pitcher del partido. There you go. I love it. Picture of the game right there. Thank you, Eric, for telling us about that. Go ahead.
Yes. So I think that the Astros have what it takes. It's a matter of them putting it all together, and it's a matter of can they get healthy. I know we've heard the name Justin Verlander. Yes, I think he's going to get back. I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to get the innings needed to come back next year. But you mentioned earlier, Luis Garcia, Lance McCullers. What roles are we going to expect for them? We have these three guys that are approaching their innings limit already. And Hunter Brown, you've got Spencer Arrighetti, and then you have Ronel Blanco.
So one of the things they did, they actually moved Ronel Blanco back to start Saturday instead of Friday. Ronel Blanco will get some extra rest, so they're already trying to position their pitchers like that. That was actually released today. And so, look, as long as the starters go in and do their job, as long as they pitch 6-7 strong innings, 7-8 strong innings, and you save that bullpen. Taylor Scott didn't get in the game tonight. He's been excellent. Taylor Scott's making an all-star bid this year. Brian Abreu and Taylor Scott are neck and neck for that relief pitcher all-star bid for the Astros. And hey, get this, down on the farm, the Sugarland Space Cowboys, they were, where is it? It's not showing up. There it is. They became first half champions in minor league
halfway
baseball.
there.
Well, this is important because last year the Space Cowboys were not competitive. They were a really bad AAA team, and this year they are dominating. So that's a good thing. You got guys creating a winning culture. You got guys down at Corpus that are winning. You want your minor league teams winning, your professional teams winning at all levels, because it's winning is infectious. So,
right,
man, I love the belt. I'm glad you brought that to our attention.
Hey, Brett, I want to congratulate you. I'm going to be the first one to say congratulate you to making it to the big leagues. This is what Joe Espada said before the game. He
Okay.
said they will call on someone to start Friday against the Orioles. You are someone in my eyes.
No, I'm nobody. No, you don't want me. No, I do not know. Why would you put me against the Orioles?
They would home run derby. Come on. They want to give Ronel Blanco an extra day before his next start. So Spencer Arrighetti starts tomorrow. So Brett Chancey will be the someone.
Wrong. False. No. But seriously, so I was actually reaching out to a local media member, and they're doing some digging for me, see if we can find out. I'm wondering if, well, you have Contreras, right? Contreras is up here, so more than likely he gets that start. Is there a way they move Bloss up? Because Bloss could very
I've still been
easily,
calling it. I still think that's the call.
he could skip AAA. But so is Contreras up here to be a starter or a bullpen guy? Because if he's here to be a bullpen guy, then it would be a bullpen game. But if they're looking for a starter, what they're probably looking at is, are they pushing Bloss too much? Because Bloss has continued to have success. He was part of the first combined no-hitter for the Hooks. And so, I mean, he's pitching really well. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, and I think it's Lance McCullers. Was he rushed? I guess we'll never know the true answer to that. But guys, that's all we got for this edition of Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully talking about another Astros victory, and we'll go ahead and continue this conversation. My name we are who you on the phone with?
Joe Espada. He wants me to pitch Friday. He wants me to pitch. Sorry, Joe. Call Jake Bloss.